Cody Proctor, thanks for watching. Over the next half hour, we'll take a look at some of the news you might have missed from the past week here in the Inland Northwest. Let's get started with one of the week's biggest stories.
It's been 1 month since a protest outside the Spokane ICE facility on June 11th led up to smoke and pepper balls deployed by the Spokane Police Department. Police made more than 24 arrests that night, including former Spokane City Council President Ben Stuckart, who organized the protest. Stuckart called for it after the detention of 2 immigrants, one of which is a 21-year-old Venezuelan man who Stuckart became the legal guardian of 3 weeks before the protest. Today, 9 people, including Stuckart, faced a judge for the charge of conspiracy to impede or injure officers. The father of defendant 35-year-old Bajan Mavawala II was in the courtroom for his appearance. He believes the charges against his son are unacceptable.
The amount of government resources that are being wasted on people who were protesting in favor of human rights. It's unconscionable. It's a waste of taxpayers' money.
Mavawala and Stuckart are among the 7 released from federal custody today. Mickey Hatfield and Bobby Silva remain in custody for an assault charge. Spokane Mayor Brown released a statement on the matter, saying in part she is outraged, calling this a politically motivated action. Spokane City Council member Paul Dillon also released a statement saying he's advocating for the charges to be dropped. And Washington Senator Patty Murray says she is against the indictment, saying we cannot be silent and I will be contacting DOJ directly regarding this gross abuse of federal resources.
Well, Spokane Mayor Lisa Brown and members of the various groups that help put on the point-in-time count say the January survey shows a snapshot of homelessness across the county, not the whole picture, but they are pleased to see another drop year over year. It's a single night in January that Spokane County says gives it some idea of homelessness stats and trends.
The trend is in the right direction.
Monday, City Council got an overview of those numbers.
Around 1,800, 1,806 counted persons.
The January 2025 point-in-time count shows a drop in people experiencing homelessness from just over 1,500 last year to 1,189. The city attributes the decline, in part, to its new navigation center and scattered shelter model.
We've got some new things coming online with our nonprofit and provider community related to outreach and coordinating outreach with law enforcement, so that it's not a question of simply telling people you have to move, but where can you move to?
But for some, the question isn't where the unhoused can move to, but where they're coming from.
Yeah, the 2023 point-in-time count that went out, 2/3 said that their last known residence was not in Washington State. So
the county's results come a month after Spokane's Business Association put out its own survey, showing out of 260 people polled, just over 80% said they moved to Spokane from somewhere else. Though survey analysts and even Council President Betsy Wilkerson refute the idea people are being bused into the city.
People end up here for medical reasons and they don't leave, for whatever that can be. So I could see how there could be a disconnect.
There's no significant or systematic data that reveals that this is happening to a significant degree that some people want to believe.
Don Kinder says point-in-time data shows for the last several years, around 70% of people they talked to were from Spokane County before they lost housing.
I don't think it does matter where somebody's from. I think they should be served.
Since the point-in-time count in January, the city has also closed 4 encampments, set up 2 specialized shelters, and says it has had an 80% success rate in referrals to housing. Shannon Mowdy, KREM 2 News.
In just over a month, Gonzaga University students will return to campus for the new school year, but this time they'll be welcomed by the university's brand new and first ever female president.
Gonzaga might be best known for its basketball and its historic wins.
So with that, I want to introduce to you President Katia Passerini.
But on Tuesday, the cheers were focused on the new president. Katia Passerini is the first female president in Gonzaga's more than 130-year history.
I stand on the tradition of several presidents that have made this university what it is today.
From Italy to New Jersey and now Spokane.
Here that the West Coast is so much fun. So I'm excited, but it's not only the fun, but it's also the beauty, the environment, this ability to really integrate your whole life.
Passerini has served in several academic roles supporting students. Most recently, she was in New Jersey as Seton Hall University's provost and executive vice president.
So my first focus will be focusing on what do we do for student success and how can we make it better.
She hopes to lead her team to the next generation of education, reimagining what college can be.
And we have to tell the story on the value of education better, because that's what it is being questioned now.
Other things on her list: making campus more culturally diverse, helping students keep up with tech changes, supporting long-term student success and students' mental health, growing the local economy, and increasing enrollment and graduation rates. While what happens on the court continues to capture attention, Passerini hopes the changes in the classroom and the campus will inspire the next generation of students.
Classes begin on August 26th, and while President Passerini has lots of goals for the university, she's excited to explore the West Coast for the first time, as well as Spokane. I'm reporting here on Gonzaga campus, Regan Gallo, KREM 2 News.
As we go to break, here's a check of your weekend forecast. Welcome back to the KREM 2 News Week in Review. Each weekend, we walk you through headlines for the past week in the Inland Northwest.
Jose, who lives in South King County and works in the restaurant industry, has been undocumented for almost 20 years. He's not showing his face because he's terrified by the ICE raids we've all seen. Get out. Get out. He wonders if Washington really is a sanctuary state where local agencies aren't supposed to help the federal government deport people.
You can! Pretty sure that there's a lot of agencies that works with them.
He's right. Despite being a sanctuary state, the King 5 investigators found the Department of Licensing, where you get a driver's license or register your car, is sharing private information with Homeland Security, ICE, and Border Patrol.
Is it concerning to you?
I think, not only for me, but the whole community.
Governor, act now! Protests erupted across western Washington in 2018, during the first Trump administration, after legislators came down on the Department of Licensing, or DOL, for violating a state executive order that put undocumented immigrants at risk.
Protect our privacy rights!
DOL was giving the feds access to personal data used to arrest and deport people. State records show after that, DOL canceled many of those agreements or accounts. But a King 5 investigation has found sometime later in 2018, DOL quietly reopened some of them. State records show accounts with ICE, Border Patrol, and 3 other Homeland Security departments are back open, and business is brisk. Since Trump's election in November, the Fed's use of them skyrocketed 188%. Looking just at ICE's account, in November 2024, agents searched for driver and vehicle records about 500 times. This May, that number tripled to more than 1,600 searches.
They should stop. They should stop because it's all about trust.
The Department of Licensing declined our request for an on-camera interview, but in emails, they insist they're following state and federal laws. They said an increase could be due to significant variability in monthly searches and because of Trump, that the data crosses 2 presidential administrations with 2 different immigration ideologies. And remember, It is firmly in state policy that DOL's information is not to be used for immigration purposes.
As ICE is ramping up their enforcement actions in our state, the last thing we want is for them to be able to search a treasure trove of information about home addresses.
Jenny Pasquarella is the legal director of the Clemency Project, a nonprofit that represents undocumented immigrants. I reached out to more than a dozen immigration experts who say they had no idea DOL was working with the federal government again.
It is critical that we ensure that that information is walled off so that people don't fear accessing it.
I asked DOL if they were concerned about the increase in the feds looking up their data. In an email, they said anyone using their database must promise they're not using it to deport people. Immigration enforcement can search their database for a person, license plate, address, or vehicle only if they agree to use the info for purposes that are legal in Washington. For instance, investigating a crime like human trafficking or drug smuggling.
Bro, look what's happening, bro.
While the federal government considers being undocumented a crime, Washington doesn't. Advocates worry the surge in searches is being used for deportations.
If it's criminal activity, then they should be able to do it through the warrant process.
State Senator Rebecca Saldana is one of the sponsors of a 2018 law, the Keep Washington Working Act. It cemented into law that state agencies are not to cooperate with federal programs that target residents on the basis of immigration or citizenship.
And if it's not against the law, is it against the intent?
Those accounts do seem to be against the spirit of Keep Washington Working.
There's always a concern that we're not sure if we're gonna come back.
Jose did recently get his green card, but says that's no guarantee he can stay. He's calling on lawmakers to stop what he sees as a betrayal of Washington's sanctuary promise.
They're breaking families. They're tearing families apart.
Thanks for joining KREM 2 News this weekend. I'm Cody Proctor. Right now, we're taking a look back at some of the news stories from the past week.
I'm sitting on a field here in Davenport where tent after tent is being set up for first responders as they tackle the Western Pines fire. High winds are in the forecast tonight as more than 400 first responders across multiple agencies tackle the near 6,000-acre Western Pines fire.
6th Street Cafe and Pizza, this is Allie. How can I help you?
For Allie Slatoski, it's a fire that was too close for comfort.
10-ish miles back behind our house, so it's a little scary, and having dad out there is not always the funnest.
Her dad is a volunteer firefighter in Davenport who responded on Wednesday.
We know neighbors and everybody that live around us, and it's definitely worrisome.
Level 3 Go Now evacuations are still in place for people living in Green Canyon, Mill Canyon, Harker Canyon, and Favre Road or Angel Spring Road. Crews first responded to the fire Wednesday afternoon. Crews are still working to contain the fire. They say the area where it started isn't ideal.
With the steep terrain and just the heat and the weather conditions, the topography has really made this challenging for our firefighters to be able to get in.
Connor Nicola with the Department of Natural Resources says the fire's location is making it challenging for first responders to communicate.
The first few days was just being able to set up our own repeaters for radios to be able to get communication out and making sure everybody is safe and on the same page.
Nicola says he's optimistic the fire will be contained sooner rather than later.
Here's your pizza.
All the while, folks like Slatoski are relieved her family and the community of Davenport are standing strong as the fire continues to burn.
They're doing what they can with the resources that they have, and everybody's putting their all into it.
In Davenport, Connor McAvoy, KREM 2 News.
Right behind me is the entrance to the fire camp in Northport that is here for the Hope Fire burning in Stevens County. As of Tuesday night, that fire's burned at least 7,200 acres. It's been a long week for Iris Gardner and her family. They live in the Flat Creek area of Stevens County, and last Tuesday saw them evacuating their horses when the Hope Fire exploded in a matter of hours.
Been pretty chaotic, really, just constantly running to check neighbors, help neighbors. People are still putting out spot fires around their places.
Miles to the northeast in Northport, fire officials updated community members on the current status of the Hope Fire at a meeting Tuesday night. According to Incident Commander Brian Ebert, the Hope Fire's been challenging because of how dry it's been and the weather.
very inconsistent winds. So 1 hour you might have westerly winds coming across the area, and then you get a wind switch to east winds, which can make it really difficult to fight fire.
Stevens County Emergency Management says the fires burned at least 2 homes, but it'll take time before they know the final numbers. One thing that hasn't been surprising, says Gardner, has been the community banding together. Outside of a red schoolhouse, they set up a hub to help their neighbors.
This community is amazing. It's not something that, it doesn't take wildfire to bring us together. We're always like that. But it just cements the fact that in hard times, everyone is here for each other.
Now, the cause of the fire continues to be investigated. Right now, it is still unknown. And according to fire officials, it could be until August or even September before this fire is contained. In Northport, Cody Proctor, KREM 2 News. Welcome back to the KREM 2 News, a week in review. We hope you're having a great weekend. Let's get back to one more story you might have missed this past week.
A heroic act of kindness here at Bear Lake was quite literally the difference between life and death for Karina Handel. A routine summer day at the lake.
I'd say we come at least 3 to 4 times a week.
Turned into an experience Karina Handel wouldn't forget. Earlier this month, Handel was spending the afternoon on the water with her nephew and dog, Scooby.
It was very windy, and I was like, okay, I'll get a good workout in, because that's usually why I'm here.
But in the blink of an eye, family fun time turned into a fight for survival when Handel noticed Scooby started to sink after his paw got stuck in his life jacket.
And so I just jumped in the water. I was freaking out. My dog is my best friend, and so once I got over to him, I kind of noticed that the paddle boards are not 5 feet away. They're like 10, 15, 20 feet and still going because there's nothing on them.
In that moment, after paddling all afternoon, Handel says her body started to give out as both her and Scooby started to sink.
I didn't realize how exhausted I am, and I'm going to die.
A realization that made her scream out for help as a last-ditch effort to save their lives.
I'm gonna die if these people don't come over. And I know how to swim, and he knows how to swim. But when I know, yes, we don't like to cry. Huh? Come on.
Luckily, her cries for help got the attention of some unknown heroes.
The couple, you know, they just kept saying, it's okay, Karina, it's okay, Karina. Like, we've got you. You're okay now. We've got Scooby on the paddleboard. We're gonna get you to safety. And I just cried. I cried the whole time on the way back because I just couldn't believe that. It's just 1 second. Okay, no, you need to come over here. Sit down, over here. If those people had been like another 5 minutes, we wouldn't have made it because he was trying to save me and I'm trying to save him at the same time. Scooby, up, sit.
Handel says this experience truly showed her just how important safety measures truly are on the water. When you're out here, when you're paddleboarding with Scooby or your niece and nephew, do you ever get flashbacks to that day?
Sometimes, yeah, but mostly it's just remembering like the people saving me.
After a rush to get home the day of the incident, Handel's mission now is to find these heroes and make sure they know just how grateful she is for their selflessness.
Thank you. You saved my life.
Christian Garza, KREM 2 News.
Keep it here for more news and weather updates throughout the weekend. And don't forget, you can watch our latest newscasts anytime on your schedule on KREM 2 Plus. Download and watch right now for free. I'm Cody Proctor. Thank you for watching the KREM 2 News Week in Review.